Right, so I've had to take a break, and I just realized that first part there was 41 minutes long, which yeah, this is how after action reports go. So I don't expect really many people to watch it, but it's what I do, and the recon support guys, I know they are gonna watch it. Yep. So yeah, continuing on, I've only got like a few more clips I want to cover, and I should be able to get through them much quicker than the first part because I've explained the majority of the things that we need to work on and identified all the general important things really. So here we have the second engagement that's about to start. So let me run the tape.
If we're gonna go support that bunker base, I'd much prefer heading east and south and west, or west and south and east, the north, up through Lockheed, because I'm pretty sure where I put that ambush mark, they're doing an ambush. They're setting up an ambush.
You want to attack from your ambush mark?
What if we just went?
south?
No, I don't want to
always
attack
deep?
from our ambush point because that's where they're setting up an ambush there. There was like a group of like 7 dudes.
Hey, we can just rush it, holding the
Is our
mountain on the
tank
south.
going
man.
up there by himself?
Yeah, our friendly just pushed up the road.
Why?
Careful with the mines right there in front of you.
He knows. He knows.
Does he?
Unless he doesn't.
I see the mine right in the middle of the road, guys.
Alright,
You
we've
mean
got
that mine?
friendly
You mean
infantry
the mine
getting
right
shot
there
up
behind
ahead.
us?
Yeah.
Let's push up the road,
Let's
and if
just
it
go
gets
up
too
there.
hot, then we'll fall back.
I'll watch our north just in case.
Okay.
How hot
Okay,
is
you're gonna
it
need to
here?
rotate southeast. Yeah, infantry
Pretty
just
hot, there's
behind
no-
that ridge.
Right side, right side, right side, right side, right side.
They're on top of the mountain.
Moon,
They're
keep
throwing
us
in.
on
They're throwing
Ramirez's
in.
left. Keep us on his left.
Get up!
Shit.
Fuck, I'm
Back us up,
wounded.
back us
No.
up. Okay, so tank tactics. Usually if we're gonna engage, you wanna have your armor laid out in a line facing the enemy. So right there, what I'm telling the Moon to do is keep us on Ramirez's left so that we have like a just side by side basically as we're engaging the enemy. That way we can get both guns working on whatever it is that's in front of us. And yeah, we have our front armor facing the enemy. Problem here that happened is that well, I didn't say anything because as I was looking here, I didn't see any infantry in the immediate vicinity except this one dude in this bunker to our direct left. So Ramirez was going in to try to knock out everybody. So I figured it's okay. It's a risk we can take. We cover Ramirez's left flank by exposing ourselves here out to the front. Problem is that I'm pretty sure we ran over a mine here, and we get tracked. And then I'll let the video explain things. Reverse, we're tracked. Moon, we are tracked. You need to reverse this.
I know, I'm getting off.
You are not.
Yeah, this isn't much of reversing, Moon.
Oh no.
I'm
we are
going.
tracked from this. Yeah.
Ah,
they've
yes.
got a emplaced
Yeah.
gun
Moon,
direct northeast
you
7
might
meters.
want to
we
get
need
us
to back
out
up.
of here.
We need to get out of here.
I don't think you know how tracking works. Excuse me.
Oh god.
Excuse me, but I don't think you know that we're
Ramirez,
supposed to get out
you need to
of
get
here.
out. They've got an emplaced gun 70
No, we're
meters
fine.
northeast.
We're fine. We're fine.
So Ramirez here, I'm pretty sure he knows the range because I didn't know at this point. The range of that 68 anti-tank emplaced gun is 45 meters. So we're actually pretty safe. However, we aren't that safe from the 2 RPG launchers that are on that ridge. You saw there, they got pretty close, and this guy, the LTD, he got up and he took 2 to the face. I think he bounced both, but still, you don't want to get shot by those things. So yeah, Moon, I tell him to reverse, but what happens here is that he turns around and then tries to go forward, and you'll see this happen again in the second engagement with an outlaw, as I'm going to cover in this after action report. But yeah, it doesn't help that Jeff is constantly shouting at him. But yeah, one thing that you can do if you're like leading or commanding, or you're just the experienced guy, and if you find yourself as an experienced guy in the group, if the guy's making mistakes, you just gotta let him make the mistakes and just pay for it. Really, it's as I said before, trial by fire. Once he makes the mistakes and then dies, and he lets everybody down, he ain't gonna make it again. Yeah, there's no point in trying to fix the thing as it is happening. I see this happen a lot in many other games, especially RTS games like Company of Heroes or StarCraft. If you're playing in a team match, there's no point in trying to trying to correct or berate your teammate as the battle's happening. All the things that you're trying to tell him should have been told before the engagement. So if you've already committed to an engagement, you've already committed to the fact that if these things happen, they happen. That's just how things work. So yeah, let me continue it a little bit more.
Is this?
Yes, I
small
do.
hill fucking us?
Moon, would you
Yeah,
happen
can't go
to
up hills
get
on your
us
tracks.
out of here?
Just back yourself up southwest as much as you humanly can.
They've got 2 full
Unless he
breakers on
gets-
that ridge.
Moon, this doesn't seem to be southwest.
I think we just have to repair here. He's not getting his eye.
Jeffrey. My man, he
Nah,
got shot.
he-
No,
he
don't
got
go
it, he got
forward,
it, he
Moon.
got it, he got
Don't
it.
go
Nah, he
forward.
got it,
Moon,
he got it, he got it.
Moon, you are literally moving forward.
So that was my mistake there. There was actually enough space here to get us past here. I'm telling him not to go forward because I'm scared that we're going to get hit by the thing. I was assuming that the range of that thing was a lot further than 45, but it wasn't. And yeah, that was my mistake there. I need to get more used to all the ranges of all the weapons, really. I mean, the Warden, I know what most of the ranges are for our weapons, but I need to know what the range of the enemy weapons are so that if we ever get in this situation here, we need to be able to pull off what Moon's pulling off here, which I don't think is intentional, but yeah, we get kind of lucky.
The one place we're not supposed to.
That's
Oh, great.
close. That is
Jeffrey,
close.
you need to be quiet, man. I'm trying here,
Oh, he's
okay?
just out of range,
Keep
alright.
going, keep going. Oh. We
I
are
want to
lucky as
kill
fuck.
you, Moon.
So yeah, that's how that went. Yep. Moving on. Nothing else to cover there. I've said my part. Okay.
South.
Go around
Honestly,
south.
I
Right.
should just
We're
join
prepared.
you guys.
Infantry Russian, get in. Get
What was
in,
that, Moon?
driver.
Oh my god, that's... So remember it says right there, infantry rushing, get in. This is a little bit of the communication part that needs to work on as you're constantly playing this and you have to filter out all the nonsense that's going on. Usually what happens is that my tank crew, they just listen to my voice, where technically they need to keep an ear out for me and Ramirez, because Ramirez is commanding the whole thing, and he's also the commander of the second tank. So what he says is very important as well. And this is another prop up to Ramirez. As the game goes on, he usually listens to what I say most of the time, and he's able to incorporate what I see and the information I provide him, give him a better view of what's going on in the battle. But in this case here, what's going on is that Jeff is eating his chocolates, and he doesn't know what's going on. He didn't hear what Ramirez just said there, and I should have just reiterated what Ramirez just said. You know, there's infantry that's right next to us. Yeah, 5 guys to our east. Point blank.
I'm in the Milky Way.
Jeff, please, for the love of God,
Left side.
reverse this
I
move.
don't see
Reverse this down the
anything.
road.
Push us forward.
There's a massive
Glitch.
firefight. How do you not see it?
Keep us at a distance, but
Ooh, wait, I can
line
actually.
me up with the trench
Nice.
if you can, Glitch, if you know what I mean. So make it to where I can shoot down the trench, not into the trench. There you go.
Good hit, good hit. On the ridge, yes, nice. Good go. More infantry coming down the road. That's a lot of infantry. Oh god.
Alright, don't worry, we're gonna get them all.
Direct east 65 meters, they are closing in.
Gotcha. Here, you might want to move us up a tiny little bit.
Yeah, go
Itty
forward
bitty.
like 5 meters.
Itty
Keep us behind the
itty.
infantry.
Stay
Moon,
away from
just
the
keep
edge
us
of the
behind the
rocks.
infantry.
Okay.
I don't see anything.
Right, so there, that pretty much covers it. If you're once you get more experience with driving, basically, you know. Okay, as I said before, you're not going to be able to like really properly see what's going on. Your situational awareness is very limited. But as time goes on, as experience kicks in, you'll figure out that so long as there's infantry in front of a flank, you'll be able to place yourself at least a good 10 meters up towards them. You can close in quite close, because they're basically your screen, basically. So in this place here, it's okay to move up. As long as you can see friendly infantry that's in front, and there's a decent amount of friendly infantry, you can safely maneuver behind them and not be worried about that flank there. The only thing we have to be worried about is what's going on the right here, but it's pretty much clear. This is pretty good. Enemy is only attacking from the east side, which is from the perspective of this video, from the top, basically. So we're good. Yeah, that just comes with experience, really. So yeah. Moving on to the next engagement.
getting better tanks.
We don't have better
We
tanks,
don't
man. What are you
have
talking
better
about?
tanks.
Go mine iron.
We need copper.
Go get copper.
Right.
I
I
think
don't
we
think
should
we're gonna
just
be doing
use
much
it.
right now.
And a light tank up
Hey,
the
if we
hill.
have a Pellicles in us too, we can take out an outlaw and
Yeah,
a
but
light
he's
tank.
not with
We
us.
could if we can outplay.
They got better terrain though.
They do.
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
have
Yeah,
high
but-
ground
but-
terrain than us.
They have the high ground. Have you
Yeah,
never
the
seen
high
Star Wars?
The high ground
Which one?
always wins.
So right there, the thing about having high ground and elevation is that they can see further, and I'm pretty sure that if you aim your weapons, you actually get a little bit more range. I'm not too sure about that part. I'm just assuming that because of how the spotting works. If you are on higher elevation and you use the binos, you can actually see further, a good like 20 meters sometimes. Yeah, that's something to keep in mind there. Okay, now moving on to the very fun stuff.
Infantry. I've been
Wait, what's going on? Hello.
That's all I'm
Oh,
saying.
yo, I'm
man.
back. All right, nice.
Friendly infantry is closing in on him now.
I say we
Hey,
rush
yeah,
them.
we actually have an opportunity now.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's like if
Yeah,
we-
fuck it, let's do it. Come on.
So the context here is that it's night. We've gone back, we've repaired in the garage, and we've redeployed here on the east side of where Lockheed is basically. And what we spotted on Watchtower was that there was a tank closing in, and using the map intelligence, we knew that he was overextending. He had very limited infantry support, and right here, as I started rolling, that's when we get visual contact that it's the outlaw and it is overextending. And two hatches against an outlaw. This is a prototype, but even if it wasn't a prototype, a 2-on-1 is a very doable engagement. It's something that it can be done. You can knock it out without losing a tank, basically. That's assuming that it's a pure 2-on-1 situation. And right here, we get lucky in the sense that he's overextended so that he's given us the opportunity to take him 2-on-1 without any interference. We don't have that much infantry support on that side, but neither does he. We end up finding that he has like 2 guys following him, but those 2 guys don't have any anti-tank weaponry, so they can actually support him as we go in and attack. So yeah, this right here is a very, very good engagement that you're about to see. Okay.
Go, go,
All
go.
right.
Take us
Who's
forward
leading?
first. Yeah, we
Behind
lead.
him.
Wait, where's
Second
the
spot.
tank? Wait, where's the outlaw?
Just hit direct south, follow the road.
Wait, is the outlaw direct
yeah, outlaw
south?
contact
Beat it.
southwest, 70
Send it.
meters.
Beat it.
I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it. I see
Get us
it.
around him,
I
Moon.
hit it.
Get us
I
around
hit
him,
it.
Moon.
It's cracked.
Good hit,
It's
good hit.
cracked.
Good hit. So these are 2 guys I was talking about. And for those who don't know, the way you want to run the 2-on-1 is you need to utilize a numbers advantage. You just flank the guy on either side, you sandwich him. I talked about this in the previous after action report, but just to recap again, you need to get around to the side and hit him from the side and the rear, especially if it's a superior tank, technically superior. He's got more health, more armor. It's an outlaw. Prototype outlaw, but still an outlaw. So here, Moon, very, very well done. He just guns the engine, goes off to the left here. We get around on his right flank. And Ramirez, he's a little bit lagging behind, but he's got the other flank basically. So we both get around and we both take him out. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Good
Track
hit.
it.
Okay, yes, nice.
Cracked.
Right, reverse this,
Cover,
Moon,
cover
reverse this.
glitch.
So the only thing that's going on through my mind here is that whether or not those 2 infantry dudes that were following the outlaw, do they have any anti-tank weapons? But if they did, they would have immediately have used them by now, because this outlaw is done for, and they don't. So once I've identified that, and then once I've gotten a look around, there's no calls to be made basically. If they did have anti-tank weaponry, I would have told Moon to have stopped much earlier and started reversing, because that's not something we can deal with. We don't have any friendly infantry support here. Now, the only other thing going through my mind is that are we overextending? Which technically we are. In the position that we are in, we have no infantry support. Ramirez is off over here on the other side of the outlaw. And the enemy we know, their bunker base is off to the left here, the north side, where we are extending now. So we are overextending ourselves here. which is why right here I'm telling Moon to reverse. I want him to take us back the other way, keep our front armor facing the enemy. Well, the enemy position. We don't know whether there's enemies like right there right now, but this is a very compromising situation here because we're giving our flank off to a enemy position that we do know about. Kill it, kill it, kill it. Moon, don't. Oh no.
Fire!
Kill it, kill it.
How did you miss?
I don't know.
Moon, you gotta take us to the other side. Hit east. Nice,
you
good
go.
kill. Get us out of here.
Let's go here. Go,
us out
go,
of here.
go, go,
Back
go.
to base, back to base.
So as you can see, we're facing completely the opposite direction. We are getting out of here, which is good. But if the enemy were to attack, they would have come from that side, and we would have our rear facing them, which is not good. It didn't happen here, but it doesn't mean that just because it didn't happen, we should do this all the time. This is not the way that it should go, because it's very, very risky. It's an unnecessary risk as well. But yeah, same mistake that occurred in the previous clip that I discussed, where we got tracked. Yeah, it's a learning experience. So we all know now how this goes, and everyone is better off, really. And we didn't die, so that's good. So moving on to the next one.
Towards the friendly line.
That's a big AT
Once I see
gun
him on
right?
recon, we're gonna
Merlin.
fucking send it.
Look at yeah.
Let us go first since.
Yeah,
I
let us
mean,
go
Merlin
first.
just
Since
got
you...
the binoculars.
I know, but
Armor is sort of damaged.
okay, he's on recon. Fucking send it
Alright.
straight down the road into his ass.
West, northwest, west.
So what's happened here is that Ramirez has been looking at map intel. I've been trying to make sure that we don't get killed because at this point I know that Moon is kind of inexperienced, so I'm keeping an eye out more on visual scanning. But Ramirez here has got a vehicle contact that's up here northwest where we're heading to right now. What ends up happening is that it's actually 2 tanks and one of them is an outlaw. So we'll see what happens here.
Like, just look down the road, you'll see him.
Where's
the
the
main road.
road?
Look at your
There's
mini
Okay,
that.
contact 2. No, there's an outlaw and a light tank direct northwest. They range 70 meters. They are not looking at us. Take us right, take us right, take us right.
I see him.
Direct right, Moon,
What?
direct right, hit north, direct. You got a side shot, Ferret.
Go, go, go.
I'm not in range.
On northeast. Oh
I got
my
him.
God.
I got him.
Target the light tank. He's tracked.
Northeast.
Glitch and I
That's
got the light
light
tank.
tank.
You
Moon.
guys take keep the outlaw off our ass.
Okay, let's dissect this. What I'm pretty sure what Ramirez wanted to do was approach these guys from here, the north road. That's what that's the impression I get. But what happened was that we ended up going into this ridge here. And he ended up going to the left side. Moon was following him basically, and I wanted to go this way because that's what I thought the plan was really. So that happened. Yeah, a little bit more better directions for our drivers, I suppose, because we heard Ramirez there asking Glitch to open up his map, which isn't something that the driver should do when we're going into the combat situation, but it happened. And Moon and Jeff here, and I'm pretty sure Glitch didn't hear the outlaw call that I made. Because everyone at this point, like 5 seconds previous here, it's just eyes just saw the outlaw run away. I don't think anybody actually knew there was an outlaw. However, Ramirez knew. He heard that call, and you heard him there like 5 seconds ago. He's telling Glitch to keep his tank there so that he can knock out the light tank, and we're basically providing security on his flank from that outlaw, which is now going off to the northeast. Because he heard all that, which is very good. He is able to discern all the important information from the nonsense that's going on. But Jeff was completely clueless, and I don't think Moon knew what was going on either. But yeah, we caught a lucky break there because it looked like the outlaw was a solo tank guy. I'm assuming that this outlaw was the outlaw that we had seen previously that got captured by the rookies that we saw, like the 2 privates and corporals. And I think they lost the tank and they've now recaptured it. So yeah, we got lucky because if that was a crewed outlaw, that was a fully crewed outlaw with an experienced crew, this could have gone sideways real fast. But we did all right. We got to the flank and rear of the light tank there. Glitch and Ramirez murdered him, and yeah, our presence here basically forced everybody else to back out of here. The outlaw ran, the infantry is all scattering, all good for the most part. Let me run it another 10 seconds.
I don't see the outlaw.
Where's
He
the
backed off.
outlaw?
He backed off.
All right, finish
Yeah,
the light.
kill that
Finish the
tank.
lights. All right, back off. Back off.
Nice,
Back
go,
off.
go. I don't see the light tank.
Back to friendly lines.
Oh my god,
Outlaw has
move!
retreated. Outlaw has retreated.
Go this way. Go this way. This way.
They have a
Send it.
spare light tank in
It's fine,
reserve.
it's-
also.
And we're out of there. So yeah, that was that. I wanted to show this for Jeff because he was very confused, and after this, we started talking about that as we were refitting. So there's that. There's only 2 more clips that I just want to cover here. So let me find it. Back up another 5 meters.
More smoke.
Okay, hold this here. Sorry, this is too early. Here.
Dig
It's
in,
the
boys.
left.
Dig in. Dig
Is it
in.
actually?
Dig in. Dig in.
It's to the left of us.
Dig in. They're
Yeah,
gonna try to
keep it
take
to the
that
left.
night. Dig in.
Dig in, boys. You got hold this down in the morning.
You just gotta hold. Friendly tanks.
suck at that.
Friendly tanks are here. By the way,
Oh, nice.
or the other friendly tank is here.
Oh yeah, on your left, on your left.
Yeah.
Infantry in the bush.
Got
Nice,
him.
good kill.
Making sure he's dead.
Secondary left side again, I think. Orks.
Hey, or-
On your left, Orks. I'm a tank,
If the 3 of us rush the pillbox, we'd be able to take it out.
Yo, there's a pillbox on the left. Y'all want?
So what we have here is that the only proper AI AT that the wardens have is that one pillbox that's right below the screen here. They have no AT garrisons in this bunker base, and the only proper AT they have are the in-place guns that we saw earlier. So what we've got here is that we've got now 3 tanks. We've got an allied captured warden light tank on our left, me and Ramirez. And that's more than enough firepower to knock out the AT pillbox without losing a tank, basically. We just have to make sure we don't get flanked by warden infantry, which shouldn't be a problem because we got lots of friendly infantry around us. And yeah, that's what the plan is.
Left side.
To the left.
Oh, they're pushing! They got 3!
Ass, maybe. Out there.
Kick their ass, boys. Kick their ass.
Okay, we move up. Yeah,
I didn't miss that.
keep us on the right of Ramirez move.
Pillbox is down!
Nice, good.
Pillbox down. Pillbox down.
So the way you want to run like even more armored vehicles is you want to keep them in a line oriented towards the enemy and then move them up all at once. What happened here is that we don't know who these guys are. They're randoms. They just popped up. Can't expect much. But in theory, how it should work is that we should advance side by side with him because right there was a pretty small window. But in combat, small windows are basically a lifetime. Ramirez and Glitch were all the way out in front, and both flanks were pretty much kind of open. In this case here, we have friendly infantry all covering here, and we already covered the left side. But in any other situation, that's something that we don't want to do. We want to make sure that we're next to our commander as close as possible. Well, not as close as possible. We want to have some space in between us to maneuver. That's important. But yeah, basically you want to have a line that advances forward and back towards the enemy. And that's one of the most effective ways to run a tank unit like that. So that's the only thing I wanted. And as you can see here, you can see the results. We knocked out a AT pillbox, just 3 of us. We walked up. I think it took like 2 shots, but it's gone, and that's it. And 2 shots we can repair in no time. So moving on. Actually, I think I may have missed a part here. No, we haven't. Okay. Last clip.
Someone drive my tank!
Oh, you're lost.
No.
Are you guys dead? What's going on?
So Glitch had to leave, so he decided to just hop out, go in a fist fight, and he lost that. So I just blew the guy up with the 40 mil. But the last thing I want to illustrate here is what not to do, basically, if you're in a tank crew. Let me roll it. Where's Moon?
Nah, he's trying the fist fight. Good question.
I'm building.
yo,
But get
Moon,
the
Moon,
watchtower, man. We need the man.
Moon, I need a driver, man.
I don't. Where the fuck are you guys? What is going on?
We're in the
Back where
same
we left you.
place.
Why do you not have a driver?
I don't have a driver for some
Because
reason.
Arlen has to get in with me, because my guy had
Glitch
to
is
go.
already gone. Okay.
So this wasn't the only instance, but this is the only one that I really need to do. There's no point in looking at all the other clips that happened here. But basically what happens is that Moon got out multiple times, several times to disarm mines, and several times to make watchtowers. Now, as we discussed in the very beginning, we only have 2 tanks, no dedicated infantry, no artillery support, and we don't even actually have full crews because right now, at the start, Ramirez didn't have a spotter. He was only 2-man tank crew. Mine was the full tank crew, and yeah, you don't want to get out of tank because the moment you get out of a tank, the way the tank works is that so long as you have it fully crewed, the moment a crewman leaves, the efficiency of the tank degrades. I can't tell you by how much it degrades, but it degrades pretty significantly. You don't want to have not full tank crews basically. And here Glitch has had to hop off, and Moon now has gone off somewhere which we don't know where to build watchtowers. Now, is it important to build watchtowers? Yes, it is important to build watchtowers. Is it important to disarm mines? Yes, it is. But there are certain rules that need to be followed. And if you're very good at the game, if you're great, then you know when to break the rules and break the exceptions. The scenarios that played out in this tank run are definitely not those exceptions. Sorry to say. If there are mines, then either ask the infantry to do it, which, you know, at this point in this battle, it's all randoms. Which means you can't depend on them to do much, if at all, anything. Even if they have like clan tags, in my experience, you can't trust them to really support you. They just usually end up using tanks as bait, is what happens if you find them all like toxic and saltier regiments that play the game. That's usually what happens. But there are times when you need to hop out and disarm a mine. This ain't it, because at this point in the battle, we know that the Wardens have artillery. We're in the middle of a frontline engagement. This ain't a skirmish. This is like a 50-on-50 battle that's going on right here. We don't have the manpower to man all our tanks fully, let alone try to go out and do infantry roles, disarm mines, and build watchtowers. Basically, you're gonna have to sacrifice that and trade it off, because in the event that you get knocked out trying to do that, we get put in a compromising situation. And in this exact moment right here, we're in a very compromising situation. If an outlaw shows up right now, we're done for, because Jeff is out. The second tank is out basically because I've had to hop in. I think Jeff got disconnected or something. Moon has gone off to do his things. Glitch is now leaving. It's me and Ramirez. I've now switched into Ramirez tank to gun for him, because we have to shuffle the manpower around. If we get caught out by a single tank right now, we're done for. This is very, very, very bad. And as we have established, there are mines out here, but it's not our job to go out of the tank to disarm the mine in the middle of a battle. That's not how it works. Nothing bad happens in this entire tank run when Moon goes off and does that, but it's not something that you should do, really. It's not something that you should make a habit of. Very dangerous. And yeah, that's pretty much all the things that I needed to cover, really. So yeah.